Good morning. I was about to do a live video but didn't realise I've got a few things to pick up before I leave for a wedding later, so I'll do a quick recording. There's some good levels today. We had some news come in at 8:30, was it non-farm payrolls and a few others, and we got some more today at 9:45, 10 o'clock, so be wary 10 o'clock today if you're in a trade, PMI, manufacturing PMI. So I thought I'd just go through the levels. I want to do the video because I like to see whether my levels touch later. I'll watch the video later and I'll go through and look at the levels and see whether the levels actually works or not. So on my screen at the moment it's the MES 1 hour time frame. So just get this set up. Team viewer is working much better again today, which is great. So I've changed things around a little bit. I've moved the this channel now. We did originally have a channel here. But I've changed it now to channel where we are currently going. Just gives us a little bit of a guide of where we could be going. So we're still in a hourly uptrend. We're putting in a higher high, higher low, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, and we've broken the high. So another higher high, so a low there and a high. So if I was trading, say, which I won't be trading, but this is what I would be looking for, to stay with the trend. And I've stayed with the trend all week this week, and it's worked very, very well. So what I'll be wanting to do is probably this area 45.38 as a break and retest long. Potentially I want to go long. I would go long probably where we are right now. We're coming back down to 45.38. This is a daily level we've been watching for a few days now. So if you're going to stick with the trend, let's just draw it in. So stick with the trend, we're looking at 45.38 through to 45.31 as a potential high, these areas here. And that's basically the tops of these candles, the bottoms of these candles here, and obviously the tops of these candles. We've broken through, so we're looking for a break and a retest of this area, either there, but probably a more higher probability trade would be at 45.50, 31. Still high risk, so I wouldn't say it's not really a higher probability. It's a less riskier trade than taking this position long here. So they're the two areas to watch for a very high risk trade. If we get back down there, then the lows of yesterday will be a nice bounce as well. So 45.14 through to 45.17, that area there. So potentially looking for a bounce at this area. Putting this, we've already seen a double bottom. Potentially we could see a treble bottom. So that's what I'll be looking for, going with the trend. And obviously if we look at the new channel I've drawn in, we're currently at the bottom end of this channel, and we could potentially be pushing up to the top end of this channel. And if we do, I put some levels in place. We've got 45.84 and 46, well basically 4600 area, 4608. So this will be a higher probability rejection up here, and it will be off the top end of this channel. And 4600 is also a psychological number. And if we just go out onto the hourly so you can see where these numbers came from. Okay, so we've got 4600, which is area congestion up here. So it's quite a congested area, and we can see that also by looking at this volume congestion. And even though it's not as high volume we've got down here, which is where we are right now, it's a higher congested area, so that will also act as potential support if we are going to take that level we talked about a few seconds ago. But this would also act as resistance if we get up to that area 4600, because it's a natural area of resistance where we've got higher volume at those price levels. So it's good seeing it zoomed out like this. And the point of control is currently sitting at 45.25. So 45.31 is what we just discussed a few seconds ago as a potential bounce for another long, and that will continue this trend. And remember, we're in an hourly, well this is probably a daily uptrend now, so we're putting in higher highs and higher lows. Let's just go to the daily quickly. So we had this pullback here, and now we're looking at, we've broken through the flag, we came back, retested it, it's a lovely break and retest, and now we're putting in another move up. So where can we go? We've got this area here at 45.60. What are we at the moment? 45.41. So I just see if there's any good levels on here. Could we say we're looking at a shoulder, or maybe this is a shoulder, and with the headline coming down to this neckline. Let's put the neckline in so we all can see it. Potential neckline and potential right shoulder. It's broken the highs of these shoulders on the left, so potentially it's not going to create a shoulder, but you know, we could, the market's not perfect, but we could rotate round like that. That's a potential area with our neckline about there. Or what we could see is a retest of this area here as a double top, and maybe push back down. And if we're looking particularly bullish, we might even see it break the top, pull down and continue on the trend. So that's what we could be looking at. September now, another month, a new month. So interesting to see the daily volume's been declining, but it is leading into a holiday weekend, and so potential decline in volume there may signal a little bit of weakness, but I wouldn't take too much of that at the moment, just to see until next week and look at the volume at the end of this time next week. Okay, so that's the MES. SPY, again, we can do what we just discussed. We can do 450 along at 450. We've got the 50 moving average at that area as well, so potentially come back down here for a bounce long. And similar plays to the MES. We've got this area now, which is no longer supply, it's now a demand area. So potential bounce would get back down to there, and that'd be coming off of that pivot. But you still want to continue the trend with SPY, and we've got a few rejection areas as well. And we've got this area here and this area here, and that's 460 and 458. Looking at Qs, same levels are still in play what we had previously. We can see we've got this top up here, so potential 408, 400 to 408 as a potential rejection area, so anything up here. And where are we at the moment? We are coming into this area here, so the next best area will be 388. Just put the line in. So, oh, and look at that. So that level was based on looking at this side of the chart from December, but it actually coincides with a double top as well. So we could come up and reject that double top. Let's go back into the hourly. Was the SPY in the hourly? It was, yeah. Q's back in the hourly. So shorter term targets, yeah, where we've got already 382.81. This is what we always discuss over the last few videos as a potential reject, but more likely a retest of this area, 378.22 for another long. Like I said, we want to stick with the trend until it's not the trend. And NQ, Nasdaq, futures, it's going to be very similar. So what we've got here, we've got this potential area here, this potential area here. I'll read out the numbers in a second. That potential area here and that. So these are the areas to watch for. So a break and retest of 15,600 area for a long. And we've got 15,700 for another either a higher risk rejection or a break and retest. And if we get up there, we've got 15,800 as well, 15,830, so as a potential rejection area. And these are all based on the hourly pivots going back to beginning of August. Lastly, we've got oil. This is the oil futures, and nice to see the levels are still in play. So yesterday, look at that. So these levels have been in for some time, still using the same levels. So we came up, touched this level, pulled back down. Maybe that could have been a new level there, which is the tops of these candles. It retested it, pushed back up and then broke through the level, and then it rejected that level. We put in 83.71. Look at that for a perfect rejection, and that was right on the dot as well. Came back down. In fact, I was watching that yesterday, and now we've come through pre-market. We've hovered around, eating time off the clock, and we've broken through, and we've come up to this next level. And look at that, a rejection again. Came back up. It did reject it, but then pushed back up again, and now we're pushing through. So if we are going to push through that level, what's our next? Oh, we haven't got it. Is that a big void? Surely not. Let's go into the daily for this. So we've got this potential level. Yeah, it's not a great level. It is basically, no, I think that's the safest level there. That one there. So 88.75, 88.74 is the next potential level. So we have got a bit of a void. We could push up to that area and then touch it and reject it, but that's not the perfect level. This is the level we'll be watching for, 93.17. So we may want to push down, push up, come up to that area and reject. That's the last biggest pivot when we had the biggest reaction. So last time we got to that area, got up to 92, pushed up, you know, up the stairs and obviously down through the window, down the elevator, and then that's the last time we had a big reaction. We had a reaction just before, and we had a reaction at 96. So 96 is another area to watch as well, which will be 95, 60, that area there. So they're the areas to watch for possible rejections, but we could be a long way off that. As you can see, this is a daily of a long way off. But I can't find anything. I think that probably 88, 86.50 is probably a potential area of confidence and maybe a rejection. But I think now it's broken this pivot, I think we're going to have a big push up. But you know, no one knows what it's going to do, but we can only just guess and make educated guesses based on previous action. And the last time it got to this area, 86.50, it was coming down, it pulled down, pushed up, touched it, and then we saw this big rejection. So potentially 88.60 could repeat that big rejection. We might still have sellers sitting there from before who still want to sell at that level. So we may see something like that. Okay, that's me done for the day. I'm not trading today. I just wanted to get this video out. I'll go back to the MES so we can just look at the levels again on the daily. Let's go back to the hourly. And the pre-market's putting in a bit of a bull flag right now. Look at that. So it's putting in this flag, and it could go either way. It'll either break out that way or it could break down that way. But if it does, then watch for the retest of this area. Right, have a lovely weekend. It's a holiday on Monday, so I will see you again on Tuesday. Okay, thanks for watching. If you like the video, don't forget to like it and subscribe. Thanks a lot.